Oh, I just realised I went just those 15 seconds early or whatever it is. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day outside here in what's looking like a sunny Port Elliot, South Australia. And we're in our autumn time and the birds are singing. So I'm just checking my Facebook that I haven't got a blue screen because that has happened before. I'll just get that out of the way and let's go for it. We have the beautiful set of cards ready to go. And here we are. It's the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck that I usually use now. Sarah Marchetti is the artist. Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck. I'm using the expanded edition and we'll get straight into it. And I just realised that one's a crooked one. Just to explain, turn on your own intuitive senses as you're watching me do this reading, and don't just take what I'm saying for the gospel truth of everything. It is my interpretation as I feel it, see it, and with a little bit of bias of what my inner needs are. But it is a general reading, just that. Tap into it for your own messages so that you're getting the best information from your direct sources you can get. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that was just Twitch coming in. So here we go. Good morning, Mary. Lovely and early. And that's lovely. The first one on both comment streams. I am using BeLive and Ecamm Restream as the two sources going out to 6 destinations or whatever. So if you don't see it on one, it's likely it's because it's on the other. They don't totally match up with bringing the same comments up on the stream. But that's okay. What we've got here now, as we're moving through, we're going to start the reading. Decided to put my crystal ball sitting there on its dragonfly stand because I loved the way it's got that gorgeous glow there with the beautiful, the revelations inside giving wonderful little different well, for me, I see stuff in it. So the interpretations that come into mind as I'm looking at that, because even right now I can see the edge of it looks like a butterfly transforming. So anyway, what we're doing is this card spread. What we've got there is the home space with the compass in it. We've got the star in the workspace. We've got the dog up there in the unexpected. And here we've got the beautiful bouquet of flowers in your role and the cheeky little mice in that central position of the outcome. Or central position, like just the center of what is this reading. The completion of, look, there's different ways of interpreting it, isn't it? That's why I do like to actually ask you to turn your own intuition, your own connection to your psychic abilities, to your spiritual guides. Yeah, it is pretty, isn't it, Mary? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's polished up. That's why it's sort of shining so much you can't see the clarity, but I can on the table. So with the compass, what we have with that, compass is purely a tool for direction. And this one, what we've got is the map underneath, and we have the north-south pointing to whatever direction it's pointing to. It's really getting us to tune into, in our home space, it's really getting us to tune into a focus point, a direction that we're going to, is there something that you're planning in your home space of, direction of holidays or direction of, and what's coming into my mind is parenting and direction of what style of parenting you're wanting to actually hone in on having that togetherness of how you parent, how you want the growth of your family, the growth of your children to be in the way that they actually interact in the bigger society. As our population grows, there's going to be more and more people. I know from the way that I was brought up to the way that I brought my children up to the way that my children are bringing up their children, as in my grandchildren, it has certainly changed from then back in, for my parents even. They were raised in the beginnings of a depression way back in the last century, and the strictness and the frugality and all of those mores of the time, the understandings of how society worked were quite entirely different to what they are now. We've changed completely from being frugal to being a very consumer-based, marketing-based, buy anything you want base. And really in that process, we're bringing our earth into a balance of being tipped over the edge as far as what the resources are, how we're manipulating, how we're using them, and it starts in the home. So as do our families start in the home. My sense is pulling back on what amount of consumerism there is in even my own home, that we only buy what is needed and as natural a product as possible that can be returned back to Mother Earth in as best a reusable, decomposable, recycling way. All right. So that's where my focus is for myself. It's the message that I'm getting for me. Now, how much of that are you going to tune into? What direction is it that you've got as a main focus in your home space, in your family? Is it reducing the things that you use? Is it exploring those experiences rather than the consumables and the things that we have around and about us that, I see so much plastic. There's so much in the ocean that's waste plastic, that's, all of those things that we can connect with, that we actually see and do nothing about too, I might add. And Mary's shared, and the guilt of not wanting our kids to go without like we did. That's certainly what my parents may have done as much as they could, because their parents had nothing. And realizing that we have created another issue, just as we said, it's something that cycles. It, as far as it grows in a cycle that can sometimes blow out in all proportions. And honestly, that is, for me, what I've been seeing in the last 30 years is the buying, it really is that consumerism. I'd like us to change direction, but that's just me. So, we each and every one of us takes on board what we feel within ourselves is the right thing, of course. And good morning, Sarah. Lovely to see you here this morning. So just think about it. Find what direction that you have in your home. What are you focusing on? What is the emphasis of your experiences as a family, as people in relationship in a home? So I'm going to move over now to the stars, because the star card, and I don't know that it actually says stars, but we've got several in this depiction. We've got a beautiful picture, isn't it? And when you go out on a clear night, who knows, it might be a clear night tonight to go and look at the stars. Actually have that real in-depth look at what is that is here. It is, again, a focus. It's a form of focus. As we're looking at the stars, we see the constellations in how someone many, many eons ago mapped out where each of these stars laid in the sky. And they took notice that they don't actually change their pattern. They are always in that same pattern, I suppose. It's why we have the astronomy and astrology. There are new discoveries sometimes of new planets or comets or things that are named. The stars are named. They've all been mapped out, like this map. What we've got here is the stars in the context of our workspace. So we can go to the infinitesimal detail that whatever we want to go to, as far out even as the stars, naming stars that are millions of light years away that we'd never ever physically see unless we had those high-powered telescopes, which we don't. So where are we going to put our focus on in our business space? Which star, what glowing what glowing twinkle are we going to actually emphasize for our work today, to really concentrate on and appreciate and love what we're doing in the process? Because isn't reaching for the stars, isn't that more about our dreams? So pick the one in your workspace that is more towards your dreams, the one that you've got at the moment that you're really wanting to chase. Here's this dream in front of me. Become reality and put that as your shining star for today. put that as that first in line to actually be where that compass is going to point to as well. I work from home. So here we go. Beautiful, beautiful star. And probably spend a bit of time tonight if it's cloudless. Have a look at the stars and see which one is it. You might even know enough about the astronomy to know which actual star constellation it might be in, and even name the star. There's an app on the iPad that actually does that, called Skyview, I think. I've got it on mine, and every so often I will go outside and search. And you don't have to be outside. You could be sitting in your lounge chair and be able to track which star, where the planets are, International Space Station, Hubble, whatever thing it's called. There's so much that's out there, but we do need to focus, because there's so much, we need to be focusing in, honing in on what is the one that's important to us, the one that shines out for us. Follow that dream, make it our reality. The dog in that unexpected space, wow, I love the dog. We've got two ourselves, and they really do bring in such a loving energy when you allow that love to flow with your pet fur babies. Sometimes they do get up your nose with some of their little behaviours too, like children. But most of the time, they're just so ready and able, mostly, but they're so ready to sort of be there and play and go for a walk and be that faithful companion. They love us. We do love them. So have that interaction all across the board with whatever your day is, but certainly take notice of those moments that are going to seem like you're in the presence of your dog, or the dog's with you. Even if you don't have your dogs with you in your workplace, their energy does continue onward with you, next to you through the day. I'm sure that they do extend that. They follow us. They come with us when we go to work away from our home base. So just be ready to sense that energy that they're putting in, of being playful, of having that shining, well, like the shining star, like the shining light of their love, that heart energy that connects, being in the whatever moments. Have the awareness, and about that interactive, non-conditional love that we have for those around us as well. It's showing us that faithfulness to humanity, and faithfulness to ourselves as well. Okay. And oh, whoops, I didn't realise it. I still had that up there. Here's me going. I'll just close that off, just so we see the flowers a little better. We've got them. It's a beautiful bunch of flowers, and I'm just going to tweak that down a tiny tad, because I want you to see that detail of that little handwritten note. I've got a draft for one that I'm writing today, a letter to some very important friends, although letter's not in here. It might be a task for tomorrow. The hand is still not grabbing pens properly, but that's all right. Make this personal. It is your role, the flowers this morning. So it's that taking it to heart for you, that congratulations, recognition, and thank you. You know, it's all of that. They're a thing of beauty, the flowers, a bouquet of flowers, the way they can be arranged to be just so absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful. And the perfume with so many flowers too. It's all of the senses being brought into this one act of, you know, thank you, with a bunch of flowers. And it doesn't matter how simple or, I was going to say complicated, simple or intricately arranged that they are. It's that expression of what is. And even thank yous do come from a place of love, even though even in the, you know, in the workplace, it might not be a amorous love. It's a love and recognition of someone else in our humanity. So bringing that forward for your day to day, that is our role. Start with yourself first. Be with you first in that recognition, and be mindful and aware of others around you that would so treasure and be, uplifted by having that recognition given to them as well, as a gift, because this is passing on of a gift. So be mindful of that for your day to day as well. Good morning, Kat. Lovely to see you here as well. So thank you for being in. in and watching. And, as I came to the center, I thought, wow, these beautiful cards on the perimeter, on the outside of here we've got as, technically it's the outcome card. It's what completes the day. And here's this cheeky jolly mouse again. I just love this mouse purely because it's that so unaware of how close that he is on chewing through that final thread that he's going to be ending up on his bum. But he's going to be landing in all of this lushness of food that, there's plenty here. And for me, it's really giving an indication, I know the meaning that's in the book and whatever, that it's supposed to be thievery and all that stuff and things sneaking around in the background and whatnot. But for me, it really is this use of the resources that are left laying around. It can be just taking that opportunity while it's there to love what you're doing. These mice, they're probably hungry mice just going in and loving what they're doing. Not quite sure, Umair, thank you for popping in. I don't know what those little threes are. Obviously it shows up that, it's emojis that's not showing on as an emoji. Thanks for being here, though. And here I just give thanks for the mice. As much as, yes, they can come in and rampage our pantries and, they don't care that it's pristine food they're digging into or whatever, and that we don't intend for them to share. But there is enough. For me, there is enough to share with the whole world. It doesn't matter where they're from, where they're coming from, where they're coming in from. I do remember that flash of the picture of the Mexican-US border and so many people wanting to be crossing into US. Management of people that are in a flux of where is their home, wanting to relocate their home, growing in groups of refugee camps that there's not the resources that are there. We've got a world that's got enough food to share everywhere. We've got the logistics that can do it up to a point. I know there's not roads and stuff, infrastructures in some places, but we can do it. We just don't. And can you sense that bit of anger in me? I can't do it personally, but as countries, as people in humanity, we can share everything. So that's what I'm sensing with this. Share what is you. Share your resources as much as you can. And, in the right way that is in alignment with you, because that's all we can do, really. There are times where, it's just not practical, logical, and we don't always have personally our own monies to do this, okay? Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah, I like that dancing girl there, young lady. So with that, I'll just switch around the scenery. Oh, good morning, Kerry Ann. We've got someone over on the Twitch, Twitter. No, that's the Facebook, but it's probably my page or the other one. I've got two Facebooks connected to my Aircam. So just going to move that over to the single view. Yeah, there we go. So as you're moving through your day, have that sense of direction and focus with the compass and the stars. We all do know in a sense what we would like to have happen in our lives, what direction we're wanting to be. We have a general idea because we do have that inner knowing of, I suppose a bit of what our destiny is, but it's just that confusion of not knowing. It's a bit of an oxymoron, I know, but it is what it is. We're here to be in knowing of ourselves first. Get to know yourself. Sit in space that is your quiet space, your calm space, your meditation space, wherever you can actually just spend some time in daydreaming yourself type of thing, and giving that understanding to yourself of it is okay to be where you are. It is part of what your journey is, and the next step is, what have you got around you in your life? It's where you are. It's where you're meant to be, and progress it to where you feel that you want it to go in that inner self. If you've had a hankering that you really want to be an artist and paint stuff and you've not really tried it before, go and try it. Do it. Get those dreams into action. If there's that higher purpose, we all feel that we've got a higher purpose and we're just struggling to find what that is. Step into that space of self. Discover, learn, do what you need to. Ask for help along the way when you feel you just need that little bit of an extra guidance, because it's not really as hard as we make it to be, as we create it to be at times.